much.
What's up, dude? You hear me?
I'm alive. Yeah, I
this
can
guy
hear you.
just
Can you hear me?
gooning. It's freaking 9:30. He's got his hood up.
Did you say gooning?
He's gooning.
This is my goon cave, yeah, for sure.
Dude, I'm trying to pin down who you look like. Hold on.
I think he was the Unabomber. Let me
stop.
see if I can
It's
Google.
an actor. I'm trying to flatter Will. Hold on.
You're so kind.
Who is it? Who the fuck is it?
Henry.
I can't pin it
Not
right now, but I'll
Henry
think of it when we're
Kissinger.
done talking.
Who's
Sure.
the really strong dude that played Geralt? Harry.
Stop being okay.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
No.
There you go.
No.
You're being a flirt. I'm just trying to remember who he looks like. Podcast. I'm gonna start recording. Are you recording already, Zach?
Yes. I am.
Yeah. Who do you look like now with the facial hair that way?
You look nice, Will. It's good to see
Thank
you.
you. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. I'll think of it afterwards.
Right on.
Upon
Honored.
reflection.
Honored, he says. Is that
Start
so?
recording? Okay, we're recording.
It's just nice to be able to catch
Audio.
up with you, Will. It's been forever, dude.
Oh, yeah.
How
Yeah, how you been?
Yeah.
When's the last time we had a face-to-face convo, me and you?
Oh, my goodness. Gotta be going on a decade or maybe a little less than that, but I don't know.
You're probably right. Probably a decade.
Something around there.
That's so.
Oh, I
many
actually
years.
I joined your Discord, and then I think we talked for a minute there.
Oh,
That was it.
yeah,
It was probably
yeah.
a decade ago, anyway.
Yeah, that was definitely like 2019 or so.
You have a Discord?
Oh, I do, but it's dead as hell. It's
Oh, it is. I thought I got blocked, so I wasn't seeing any more activity.
no,
It just
no.
hasn't been moving?
It just all that group just all dispersed to other Discords. It's interesting to me actually the way people move through various Discords, and like social groups and stuff.
How we ride the
like,
wave.
Trying to
I haven't
find like
experienced that.
oh yeah, like trying to navigate like if like you make a friend and they've got a Discord and you're like you don't want to ask like hey can I join your Discord? And then you have to like wait for them to like offer or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
Anyways.
because
A
it's like
little tenderfoot around the bush there.
Yeah,
A little swan dance or whatever.
everyone's in their
because
own
you
little
can't
clubs.
unring the bell. You know, like once you add someone in there, you know, blocking them or getting them out is like it's like a whole other can of worms. So
Yeah, they're stuck in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Gary Signs.
Gary Sinise.
Sinise.
who is
Gary
that?
Sinise.
He's the guy in Forrest Gump. That's not Forrest Gump.
The guy
Lieutenant
from
Dan.
Hot,
Lieutenant
was
Dan.
it Ransom?
Oh.
The guy from Ransom.
Oh, nice.
Lieutenant
Yeah, this
Dan.
guy's sick as hell. And he's in CSI New York.
New York,
End of
yeah.
Mice and Men.
I saw. I just watched him in Ransom with Mel Gibson. He plays the cop in that. I think that's what I was thinking of.
Ransom.
I remember
do
I caught a
often
clip.
get compared to actors who play cops for some reason. So.
Really?
I think he's a good old boy, isn't he? Isn't
Yeah,
he from the South?
he's got a bit of a, you know, white finger face man syndrome going on.
Yep, I'm sure.
Do you suffer from
I
that
remember-
affliction? Is that it?
What?
Do you suffer from the same affliction? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm heading there.
Which finger?
I saw a clip of CSI New York, I think, and I just remember they're in like a room of an abandoned building or something. Maybe it was an apartment building or something. But there's all these beds lined up with dead bodies on them, and I think it was the same show. But they're like walking bed to bed, seeing all these zombie people that were like completely mummified, like they'd been there for months.
That sounds like
And then all of a sudden
probably
one
of the tamer episodes.
Really? Oh, it gets darker.
It's
But one of them-
always crazy. Yeah.
The thing that struck me was one of them started breathing really heavily and screaming, and then it like shook, and then it died. Like it had a little bit of life left. It was so weird. I think it was CSI New York, but it could have just been me like associating two different programs. I don't know.
You just had been having like a bad dream.
Yeah, it
Wake
could have
up.
been conjured in my own mind. Yep.
What compelled you to watch a movie with Mel Gibson and Gary Sinise?
My dad was picking out the movie on Tubi.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, it looked cool. The trail, like, have you seen it before?
No, it doesn't.
Ransom?
I wouldn't have connected that dot with your life dot in
Oh,
any
it's
universe.
It was good. It was good. It's from the 90s. I don't know. It was good. Like, the trailer is cool. He like flips the script. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
Okay.
I know there's a lot to be said about Mel Gibson, but like
90s action movies
I
were
don't
cool
know.
though, and he
it's
was
not
on
gonna
top
keep me
of the
from
world
watching a
then.
cool movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, 90s is like prime Mel Gibson. 90s, 80s. We had
What
the
women want.
coiffed hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that one. I can't speak for that movie. Are you saying in general what women
I'm just
want?
saying
Yeah,
that's a movie he
He
was
just
in.
knows. Yeah.
Classic film though.
Yeah. Well, cool. I don't have any topics prepared or anything. Did we have topics, or did we want to open the floor for Will to do?
I
This is a
I
special
have
guest.
one, but I definitely want to open the floor for Will because Will's been ruminating
Okay.
on his machinations over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And when we say
I've got-
open the floor for you, we have a trap door that we fall in. Yeah.
Ah!
So you're gonna stay down there, and don't worry, we have cereal. That's it.
This, you have a rancor.
We'll throw
for
some
me to
cereal
fight?
down.
Rancors love
Nice.
cereal though. That's why we have the cereal down there.
Ah, yeah. I'm
We'll
gonna
have to
actually
divide it
befriend
between the two of you.
the rancor with the cereals. Yeah, I guess. Man, I got thoughts on things. I got thoughts.
Cool.
What
Uh,
Wait. Before we get started, Will, how are you actually doing, man? I haven't. I also haven't
Oh, yeah,
talked to
let's
you
do-
face to face in a decade. And like I know we've
Yeah.
talked and stuff, but how's the
I'm
new
doing.
gig and
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm yeah. Epic is pretty awesome. Working on late Fortnite. Doing all that stuff.
Mhm.
Just experiencing the wondrous bliss that is North Carolina.
Mhm.
It's
Oh.
I like it. It's I've only been here like a year, but it's a beautiful place, and managed to buy a house and
Oh,
do all that sort of
sweet,
stuff.
dude. Dang, you like
Yeah.
you're in.
Mm.
That's great. Are you in
Yeah.
Raleigh?
Yeah.
Awesome,
South.
dude. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I like it a lot. It's like the most just like city. Like it's like a city that would be like a sitcom city, like where the Cosby, well, not the Cosby,
Uh-oh.
other
Friends?
other
Wow.
sitcom family, I don't know,
Yeah,
would
yeah.
live. But it's very like standard, but cool place. And lots of good food and all that. So, but
Awesome, man.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks
So
beautiful. I'm happy for you.
I think I want to talk about Minecraft. Have you guys ever played this? Have you guys heard of this? Minecraft?
I played Minecraft like probably a decade ago.
You guys, yeah, I was
Well,
gonna say, when's the last time you played?
I picked. I got invited. So
Oh, you've been
talking
playing
about the
Zach, yeah.
Discord groups. Yeah, I didn't play Minecraft like hardly at all up until a year and a half ago when one of my friends invited me into their server. So now it's just me and like 10 other late 20s to early 30s people that are making Minecraft. They've all played for like anywhere between 3 to 15 years, and I'm coming in with a child picking up Minecraft for the first time. So it's been a very interesting experience.
That's
My
awesome.
my
Honestly,
survival,
that's
we have a survival
that's
round.
like the perfect area to like. I'd say get like familiar with it is like playing on a server with other people, because the game does not honestly really hold your hand at all if you're playing by yourself for the first time.
I looked a lot of stuff up. There's a part of me that wishes I didn't look up anything ever.
No, you can't. You gotta. The wiki is like it's actually one of the biggest flaws with the. Some people would say, is that
But
like
it's dependent on the wiki.
Almost.
or like
yeah.
YouTube guides.
Do you know
You
about
could
Oliver?
be talking about Dark Souls right now as well.
Yeah, for real. A lot
So
of
it's
games,
weird that
actually.
you're talking about Minecraft from my point of view, because I played it back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I remember looking up how to get started with some of the shapes that you make in the crafting system to make the things work, or to make like a tool.
Yeah.
But it's since it's been so long, it's changed hands and stuff, and they've been developing it since then.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine I have no context for it anymore, aside from the fact that I know the world is cubes.
There's a
You can
really
dig.
crazy effect that I feel when playing that game that because I would take 2 year breaks or so, and so there's stuff in there that's been in the game for like almost a decade, but I still feel like it's like a new feature. Like I think it's like bees are in the game, and I think the bees have been in for like 6 years or something like that. But then it's like every time I'm playing, like I get back into it, I'm like, oh, there's a bee. How the hell does that even work? And like
I
I
mean, there's
should
a lot
know.
to it, so you probably
Yeah,
just there's no way for you to like have the capacity to remember everything anyway.
yeah, and then that's
At
on
this
top of the
point,
thing that I really wanted to get in on. It was just like modded Minecraft as a thing is it's I mean you if you saw my browser right now, that's like the thing I was talking about before, bumped up to 5,000. I have like 30 tabs like of just all these different like guides and things.
Hell yeah.
um
Tell us about some hot jars, Will.
oh my gosh, dude, you get
what?
you get the JEI. You know about JEI?
No, I don't know, Jay. Is that a
This
shader
is
file?
it's just every item or something like that. Anyways,
Okay.
it's the library for all the items that are added into your mod pack. So I'm currently playing through all the mods 10, and it's basically I think it's they call it a kitchen sink pack, which means it's got everything in there. It's something like 120 mods are in there. Everything from like magic mods where you use blood magic to sacrifice pigs to like get like their essence to like building nuclear reactors
Huh.
to like giant like infrastructural like applied energistics auto crafting setups and stuff. And there's an infrastructural surrounding of quests, so you'll actually have a quest page where usually the mod pack creator will have facilitated a guide for you to go through to say like, oh, start if you want to start with this mod pack, craft this thing first. If you want to go here, do this, and then each thing will generally give you a little description of what the item that you're crafting is, or if it's like a multi-block, like kind of like the nether portal, it'll show you like a guide on how to put that together.
It's like a quest system that kind of takes you through all the mod items, so you can kind of
Hmm.
get acquainted with everything. But it's
Yep.
formatted like a quest system. That's kind of interesting.
Yes. Yeah, and
Do
they'll
you
give
have
you like
like
little
a
rewards.
when you get these mod packs? Do you go for a theme, or are you just looking for like making the game as big as possible, or is
I
like
mean, honestly, kind of the latter. I used to play a different variation of this, mostly called Skyblock, which Skyblock is a whole other beast because that's like a thing where you're in a void. It's kind of a deconstruction of Minecraft in a way because you're in a massive void and you're just standing on a platform with a single tree, and then one of the mods is based around you like being able to get enough resources from this tree in a way that you normally can't in vanilla Minecraft to start building out like a cobblestone generator, sand, all these different things. Like you have to
it's like a
sieve.
desert island
You're
scenario, sort of, but it's
Yeah,
space.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
But
like
if
you're
you
playing
fall off,
God,
you
basically.
fall to your death and lose.
I saw a video of
Don't go over there.
someone
You
doing
might
like
fall to your death and then lose. We'll go to the Grand Canyon, but you gotta be careful. You don't want to fall down and lose.
Get the big wasted screen.
is that one of the mods?
No, but that would be cool. Um,
For the Grand Canyon.
no.
To visit the big block tree in the sky.
They have a canyon biomes now. That's one of the mods. The
Like
biomes
a
will
like
go.
Arizona desert sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a part of me as a Bedrock player that I played a little bit of Java like 3 years ago just with a friend just to see what it was like, and had all the mod packs, all the shaders. It was awesome, and it was super easy to like interoperably just move things around. And with
Yeah.
Bedrock, there's way less of that, and I feel like I don't know, I'm getting like a distilled version of the Minecraft
Yeah.
experience as a result, which
Yeah.
is kind of okay because it's still very like it's focused, right? You have to just take the game for what it is
Yeah.
out of the box, and there's still infinite things that you can do with that. Like right now, I'm building the project I've been working on a year and a half is just I started out on this little island. I'm like, this sucks. I'm gonna make a city in the sky from a tree, and that idea has been a year and a half of work, and it's like maybe 30% done.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but
I
I
mean,
didn't I didn't know what
that's
I was
awesome.
getting into.
Like a great
though.
big tree? Is it a great big tree that you're building
It's
on, or
a-
you're
it's
just
a-
using one tree?
It's a very, very, very large tree that I've kind of made from the ground up. But I don't have world edit, I don't have like access to tools unless I can like really hack things together with janky YouTube tutorials that stop working after 3 months because of an update or
What
whatever.
is
So,
you don't have world edit?
Uh,
Is that not a free thing?
so I think there's a lot of disparity between Java and Bedrock. Like Java was the original development of the game, right? Called Java.
Oh, Bedrock is a remade version of the game.
Yeah.
That's the Microsoft
That's
version,
the
right?
Microsoft one.
I thought
that's
you were
made
just
in
talking
C++.
about the Flintstones.
No, that's not.
I
That
thought
one's
you
not.
were, I thought you were
Fine,
talking about like a
Goodman.
game. I thought you were talking about like a game mode or something, but that's
No, no,
actually
no.
like a new build of game that we're working off of.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
a
yeah.
branch,
Yeah.
It's a branch that they rewrote in C++.
and they feel different.
Mhm.
It's really weird if going like because I've only played Bedrock like twice, but it does feel more polished in a way. It's like something about the clickiness, the responsiveness of the UI, and the way the game.
So they remade it in like C# or something, or
C++, I think.
so it's been rewritten and stuff. So yeah, probably tweaked a bit.
Mhm.
Did they ever add beveled corners on all the blocks like they have in their like pre-rendered trailers and stuff?
Corners.
That's
That'd
what I
be
was waiting
awesome.
for.
Yeah,
'Cause everything's bezeled.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
beveled.
yeah. No, I think it's
what I'm
I think
waiting
it's
for.
just the same.
Think it's
Because yeah, the
same.
trailers always like I'm always watching those trailers like why don't they do that? It's Microsoft.
Everything's all backlit and like,
Honestly,
yeah.
the development cycle for Minecraft itself is kind of baffling to me. But that's again, so like something you were talking about with your island, it's almost like interesting because it's like there's two types of players for Minecraft. Extrinsic and intrinsic players. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with those phrases in regards to
I don't know
gameplay.
either of those words. No.
Loosely, but why don't you?
So
But let's
basically,
explain for the audience, for the listeners.
Yeah.
for the
yeah,
audience,
just for the audience,
uh,
not for us two super
Um,
smart guys.
So extrinsic is I might be getting them backwards, but one is basically like when you play a game the same way as like it's like you set your own goals and get satisfaction from that.
Mm.
Oh,
I
that's
believe that
extrinsic?
I believe that's intrinsic. Oh my god.
Because it's coming
I'm
from
gonna
within,
sound so dumb
right?
now.
No.
that makes
Yes,
sense.
That makes
yeah.
sense. Like you're the
You look
the
inward
driver.
and play.
Yes,
of
exactly.
the
So the way
motivation.
that you're playing, Zach, it
Mhm.
would be considered intrinsic.
Mm.
Extrinsic is probably more the way that I play, where I like to follow the guidelines and accomplish a goal set by the game itself.
Yeah.
Um, So that's interesting to me.
Yeah. That's a
But I would-
classic
I would-
Minecraft thing, like brought about by that type of game. Like going back
Yeah.
all the way. People are like, this game sucks. Or people are like, no, it's awesome. You make your own fun out of it. And that was kind
Mhm.
of like, people weren't familiar with that back then, aside from Legos.
Yeah. But then
Yeah,
I think
definitely
that's
a
also
trendsetter.
like this crazy thing for me where it's like I'm gonna be like 75 years old and still playing this game is because
For
like
real.
as long as the modding community is keeping things alive, it's like it's just nice to go back to. But again, I would say it's awesome that you like you're saying, Zach, you're sticking to your first experience being in a vanilla setting. Because if you booted up like all the mods 10 right now, you would like your brain would explode. Probably not actually, but it's crazy because it actually messes with the world generation on so many levels. You have like dozens and dozens of like you get killed by like crazy things you've never even thought of before. You've never even thought of these things that could kill you.
I saw the.
And they
There's
you
like a
couldn't even
sky
imagine
dimension.
them and they can kill you.
Dude, I saw the one mod where it was like someone built an entire new biome in the sky. Or like it was some twisted version of heaven or whatever.
Yeah, is that the Aether? Is that what
Aether, that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a classic.
That's wild. It's just insane what people come up with. But yeah,
You're really honed in on trying to get into the sky in this game. You just gotta build the biggest tree and get up into
you
the
can get
clouds.
really
just be
good
up
views,
there.
buddy. It's
I want to get up there. It
a
kind
nice
of reminds me
view.
of like that guy who wants to be inside of a balloon. He just wants to be in there. I just want to get in there.
What guy wants to be
You just
inside
want to
a
be in the sky.
balloon?
You've never seen that guy?
Is that a Mel Gibson movie? I haven't seen that one.
Some magician who likes to be in a balloon. It's his thing.
No,
You never seen this?
no. You-
I feel like I have, but also I feel like,
People,
It's such a
there's more than one. It's a thing that he has. It's just like
and
a
they're
weird
like they're
little
always
thing.
doing like this, right? They're always like stretching their arms and legs
Oh,
out.
they go into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
and they walk around
Whoa!
in the balloon and
Yeah.
they think that's nice. Well, if you're in
I
the sky,
think
it's
that's
different
okay
for
to
you.
do.
It's different for you. Well, it's just a thing they want to happen, and that's what you want to happen is being. I'm just drawing the connection. It doesn't mean that
between extrinsic and intrinsic objectives in Minecraft and a balloon man.
Yeah.
You did it.
He just wants to be.
We did it
He
here
just wants to
first.
get in it.
Yeah.
Get in the sky. Zach. Get
Okay,
in the sky. I want you to be in the sky.
I would love to be in the sky. Maybe I'll even make a balloon in your honor, buddy. But
Oh, you should.
I think the extrinsic and
Minecraft balloon, yeah.
intrinsic thing in Minecraft is particularly interesting because the game, despite the updates that I didn't play back in the day, but it seems like they've made a lot of progress to try and lead players through an extrinsic. Like here are the things you can do in Minecraft, and those breadcrumbs lead you to a trail where you eventually like fight the Ender Dragon and whatever. You play through.
Yeah, they added an end game to it, which didn't happen before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like
totally.
the
That's
game,
total shifting direction.
yeah, the game tries to guide you through that now.
I would argue
It still
not
fails though.
nearly enough. Like,
Yeah.
dude, even as long as I've been playing the game, I always have to relook up how to get to the end. I forget if it's like, oh, do I use an ender pearl, go to the thing, and then I have to use a bunch of those, and
But that
yeah, and so it's like nothing in the game is like holding your hand aside from the like little wimpy achievements page.
right.
But
It's kind of interesting that that's how the game offers that through line path for players because you don't have to engage with it ever.
Yeah.
And you could still play the game for your entire life.
yeah,
But if you did go that route, you could also still play the game your entire life and just like do that over and over again, or somehow like interweave those different motivations depending on the kind of player you are. But it's really interesting to me that Minecraft as a game is very singularly positioned to capitalize on offering both of those experiences to players, despite the fact that its through line of the extrinsic path is still almost impossible to parse for any human being.
yeah.
It's almost like there could be stuff that they do a little nicer for those types of people. Because it sounds like moon logic, what you say. And a lot of times when I see people talking about the path to success or path to completing these quests, it feels like a moon logic type of like adventure game where you're like, no, you gotta stick this
Yeah.
banana in here.
I mean, imagine like just making the portal to the Nether, like, you know.
Right.
I think by now it's seared into our gamer lexicon that you
Yeah.
put the obsidian in a 3x2 thing. It's like, but who would even think of that? Like, no 6-year-old is
I
going to be like
remember I
doing that.
honestly thought when I first started playing, I actually thought it was a really clever like crafting system, like an aha moment where you could kind of guess at the shape of something, like, oh, it's wood here, and then there's this type of wood on top.
Oh,
And
totally.
that makes a wooden pickaxe. Like I thought
It's
that
like
was
an
really
abstraction.
kind of intuitive, and just intuitive, and it made a lot of sense. And it was kind of, and even the way you said you make the portal there, like I don't know, I've never done that before, but it sounds like if you want to make a doorway,
makes a
you make a
door.
big square.
Yeah.
And then it makes a door. And what if I did this with like wood instead, or what if I did it with another material, and it would make a portal elsewhere? Like that could be part of the intuitiveness of it. But
Go to
there's
the wood dimension.
Ooh,
that'd be kind of cool.
Everything's
Just
made
other
out of wood.
portals.
that'd be a sick
That's
mod.
just going into the woods.
No, it's like everything's made out of like
Everything's wood.
plywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look around you! You have come to the wood dimension. Look over there. There
Is that the voice of the
wood pillars
proprietor?
called trees.
That's a
That's the proprietor of the wood
Woodenese accent.
It's just the homeless man who lives out there in a little tent he made. He just wants to mystify you into thinking his home is like a magical place.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm surprised to hear that Because is the crafting grid still 3x3,
Yeah,
Mhm.
or is it
yeah,
bigger now? I'm surprised that it didn't get bigger, and they didn't get like you could make more stuff with it by doing that same tactic of like
yeah. No, I
just
think
making the
well, there.
shape of
I
something.
will say there is a mod that expands it, but it's like a really
Oh
like
yeah,
late game thing. Um,
I could kind of imagine like a what was that game where you could type anything and it would create in the world?
Scribblenauts.
Uh, yeah, Scribble Knots. I was
oh,
picturing like you could basically like kind of put any material in kind of sort of a shape, and then it would be like, okay, it's kind of like an animal, but it's made of spider webs, and it would just kind of
mm,
create it. That'd be kind of funny.
oh
Like you made
yeah.
sort of a four-legged thing here, but it's you use spiderweb blocks, so and then poof, you make like this cow that's made of
Oh, that
silk.
reminds me of have you guys ever been to Neal.fun?
No.
Oh,
Drop a
Um
link
not
for
fun.
us, Will.
uh there's a thing called Infinite Craft, which I will briefly
Oh,
break down. Have you guys played this?
Mm-mm.
is it just a web game sort of thing?
Yeah, it's in a browser. You start with 4 elements and you drag them onto a little screen next to them and they'll combine and you can make like gay lizard Jesus or like you can combine these elements to a point of just such
Oh,
absurdity where you can make like I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Like
I
This thing
see.
just came out, right?
it's been out for a while. I think maybe like a year or so, but this guy has been Mr. Neal Fun, or I don't know if that's his actual name, but the
Mr. Fun.
developer has a bunch of really awesome projects, and I've been playing through a bunch of them the last couple weeks.
Oh,
Cool.
In
damn it, Will.
particular, I recommend what is it? Stimulation simulator or whatever. Stimulation clicker. It is an incredible uh endurance test as a game. Like, and I mean that in a way that like it is a game that will test your like psychic sort of.
Like
You
focus.
gotta like stick with it, but I don't want to spoil anything.
All right, I'll try it later. Is that the is that crafting thing? So, because I never tried it, but they had that Pokemon thing that you can merge Pokemon. Does that work the same way, or is that just
Oh,
Pokemon? Is
dude,
that
you know
different?
what? I don't know, but that's always perplexed me that
Yeah,
exists.
I
It's
wasn't sure.
Oh,
Is
kind of
the
that a
crazy.
proprietary
like
thing?
the infinite Pokemon generator thing?
No, you put two or three Pokemon and it combines them, and then you post it on Instagram. You get views and stuff that way.
Mm.
And then everyone's like,
That's what it's
"That's
for, right?
not real
The
Pokemon."
natural progression. But it like just merges two Pokemon, and it's like, oh, cool. It made I don't know enough Pokemon to
Rock
rub two together.
Pikachu.
So
Pikachu made out
yeah,
of rock.
I like
Yeah.
that. If I was into Pokemon, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, every time I see one, I'm always kind of like surprised by how like
Because
well
it
it
does the
like
artwork and everything. Yeah.
yeah, it looks kind of like wow, that is sort of what it would be like. And it's
Like
not just like taking and cutting and pasting like
no, it's
parts
like an
of them.
artist did it or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. I
Yeah.
don't know,
But
man.
it kind of reminds me of the emoji combiners, which like an
Hmm.
artist had to do all those. So like maybe someone just
Oh,
made all the combinations.
whoa, that's
Oh God.
crazy.
Okay, I'm closing this tab. Jesus, I think I
Oh
just
yeah.
played Infinite for 4 minutes.
You're fine, Will, but Zach's not allowed to browse the web
I
on the
really, I
Oh,
really, my ADHD is not
Yeah,
conducive
you
to
have
this
squirrel
show.
brain.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I definitely like probably wasted a good 3 or 4 hours on it one time. It's always fun to like basically going back to intrinsic gameplay, just setting a goal for yourself to say like, I want to see if I can make the Herbert Hoover Dam, and then like seeing how far you can go and or how quickly you can get to that. Uh,
Mhm. Oh, have
so
you tried Tiny Glade? Is that what it's called, Zach?
yeah. I played that for like I don't know, like a couple hours or so. It's an
'Cause people
incredible
are
looking
they're
game.
making like Lord of the Rings
Dude, that.
locations and stuff in there,
Oh.
and like Helm's Deep and Minas Tirith
Mm-hmm.
and
Like,
stuff,
is
and
it
it's like
officially licensed?
No, no, no. Someone just
Oh,
no,
made those
oh, yeah. Oh, I
dioramas.
was like,
Yeah,
what?
they're doing it
Uh,
in a way where you can tell they're fudging the mechanics to get these things to look right and like
yeah.
to make like what is it called? I don't remember, but the parts of the castle that like they're
yeah.
not available in the actual game, so they're like kind of fudging the mechanics a little bit to get to work on like a
Mhm.
really small level to make little houses and stuff in like for example Minas Tirith and stuff.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, they're setting a goal and
awesome.
they're going for.
I mean, again,
they're
and
doing something like
you
that.
know, I'll say this as well is like the ironic thing is that I work as an environment artist, right?
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
it's like I always see stuff. I watch a lot of YouTube of like Planet Coaster and like
Mm,
those games and like creators in those games who exclusively just spend their time making these beautiful like parks out of like thousands of pieces that they have to use in ways that like people never the
right.
developers
Mhm.
probably never thought of. And so it's always really like upsetting to me that I want to play those games, but then I just wind up feeling like I'm doing my job for free.
Yeah, you're at
Like
work again.
yeah, exactly. So it is an interesting sort of thing why maybe I'm not as much into the like, oh, I'm gonna make a pretty little thing here sort of. I'm like,
Yeah,
pay
I
me.
think my last experience with that was probably like when I played Little Big Planet. Because at that
Mm,
point, like it does feel like work a little bit. And Planet
yeah.
Coaster is a fun example because at that point you're just merging together like cubes and stuff.
Yep.
They let
Yeah.
you do like a very granular level of kind of you're making prefabs essentially
Yeah.
out of
Pretty
cubes
much.
and other like primitive shapes and stuff.
Yeah,
So
I played a bit of two a couple months ago, and it
yeah,
was yeah, it was a lot of fun. Kind of jank a little bit. Kind of weird how there's been this wave of sequels to simulator games coming out that have been like botched
Oh my
on
God,
launch.
oh
City
like
Skylines was.
Horizons or whatever Skylines. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, City Skylines, Kerbal Space Program
Mhm.
2, and then like Planet Coaster not so much. I think that was a little bit more well received, but there was definitely some gripes within the like hardcore community. Um
Mm.
namely around uh themes, which is like a weird thing in there where it's like, you know how you
Like
have
park
different
themes.
themes. Yeah, like the
Yeah.
first game, the themes are a lot more generic, so you could make a lot more different things with them, whereas in 2 it's like Viking, like Greek, like ancient Greece, and then like
How dare they?
there's not even yeah, there's not even a clown theme, okay? Or I don't
Ew.
know, whatever.
Just clowns. A whole theme park that's just clowns.
Not even circus,
That's
just
troubling.
clown.
Oh, a circus, right? I guess circuses are clown themed.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. But I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyways, I've been rambling.
Wait, so two missing some themes? Is that it from the first game?
It's
Maybe.
they didn't yeah, exactly. They didn't translate
Oh.
all the originals to the game and then add more in. It's they just straight up
Mm.
swapped them out. So there's a big petition right now to add the older assets. Just let us have those in the game, even if you don't update them graphically.
You know what's
Yeah.
yeah, what's weird about that sort of thing is they have such a because I'm sure you can download other people's creations in that game in the first
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
and there's
yeah.
probably like a whole marketplace and stuff. I don't know if they're actually selling these things or not, but and then to displace the whole community and put it in a second game that's just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, all that work is stuck over there, and now you need to make all your new stuff in here. Like to create that disparity, that like what is the word?
Yeah,
Just
I feel like
to
they
split
must
everyone
have
up that way.
overhauled something on the engine side or something, you know? Like that would have
Yeah.
made that not viable
Oh, like
somehow.
carrying over all the assets. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I didn't actually play the first one. I just watched a bunch of YouTube stuff on it. And
Mhm.
so I don't really know the difference between that and the second one. There is definitely a like community hub page embedded in the game, whereas I
Mhm.
believe before it was like Steam Workshop, um, which is like a different ecosystem, I guess. And so there must have been some
Oh, I
move
see.
for them to
Yeah, it
like
was like
want to have this all embedded in the game itself.
I guess that would make sense. Yeah.
I think that's what happened with Skylines
Teamwork.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, there were engine changes because like Skylines 2, I think they render like everything, which was part of the
Yeah.
issue at launch. So
Yep.
you could have
Perf
these
was
buildings
crazy.
from like a super long LOD, but they're still rendering like a wire that connects to a PC monitor,
Yeah, yeah,
even
yeah.
though you're zoomed out like 3,000 feet.
Oh,
Um,
like there's
Yeah,
no culling?
yeah.
no,
So
yeah, it's there was some crazy stuff. I'd have to imagine it's better now, but I
I
was using my work computer to play it, and I had an A6000 card or whatever they're called in there. It's like non-consumer grade rendering card.
You
And
were
I've never even
struggling?
heard of that.
Yeah, dude, I hadn't either. It's literally 64 gigs of VRAM.
Oh my goodness.
And that was even like, there were some times where I was like just getting down into like the 60s.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, at that
I'm
point,
not,
the
you know,
engine is just not doing it.
Mhm.
Like,
exactly.
the engine can't
Yeah.
handle it. Yeah. Huh. I guess that game probably launched early access and stuff too, right? So they're probably just like, oh, we'll optimize it later.
I
Or
think
not
so.
early
They
access, but
they launched it and it was
Oh.
not very well received. So now it's
Yeah,
basically
I don't
in
think it
early
was early
access.
access. I think it was just straight up, here it is, folks.
just came
Yeah.
out. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think like those creation type games, people launch it early and then they wait for feedback, then fix it. But there's examples of that not happening too.
Did you know that sometimes game publishers don't know what they're doing, buddy?
Yep.
Crazy. Crazy.
I've perceived that. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's more or less what happened with Skylines. Will, I want to hear more about modded Minecraft because I feel like
Okay.
we only touched on the surface. So talk to us a little bit more
Yeah,
about
open up
Let me
that
tell you about
conversation tree.
depth.
the thing that got me back to playing with it is a specific mod called MineColonies. It's incredible. It's basically like The Sims or like Sim City, but in Minecraft. But you have to establish a colony, and to do that, you build a town hall, and then a builder. You and people like AI NPCs will start showing up in your world to your village, and you can recruit them. But to recruit them, you have to have housing for them, and a job, preferably for them to do. There's something around like 25, 30 jobs, um, and each of these serve some form of automation. So my favorite one, because ironically in Minecraft, one of my least favorite things to do is build, is there's a builder hut, and that's one of the first things that you unlock, and you can give a builder various schematics that they'll then, if they'll request the materials, so you have to provide them with all the materials for this build, and then they'll just go out and start building it. So say like, okay, I'd like you to build a like a woodcutter or like a woodsman hut over here within the boundaries of the village, and they'll go do it, and then you have another person come to your village and you say, hey, you're now my woodsman, start planting and chopping trees, and then they'll start doing that. Then where that gets into is you will have craftsmen who then you'll say like, oh, okay, I'm going to buy a sawmill or I'm going to build a sawmill. The sawmill, then you can then teach that crafter recipes that they will then make automatically. And then the request system from the builder talks to the entire village. So you can tell it, hey, okay, now make this building. Instead of the builder requesting 100% of the items from you, it will ping the like sawmill and say like, hey, make me 60 slabs. Will, don't even worry about that.
Mhm.
They're gonna, and then you have like couriers who will transport all the items between places, and your colony just gets bigger and bigger until you've like automated like every part of more or less like vanilla Minecraft. But you can teach them every single recipe in the game through different craftsmen and stuff. It's incredible.
That sounds so
Yeah,
cool.
that sounds interesting. That it started out reminding me of the Terraria thing where you get people with jobs,
Yes,
but it's
yes,
like way because they don't build themselves. They
yeah,
don't build little
exactly.
huts. You got to build that stuff for you. But you're essentially like the Burgermeister,
Yeah,
just kind of telling them what to do.
Meister Burger, dude.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Burgermeister will. And so,
yep.
do these buildings? This is what I'm curious about. Do these buildings end up in funny places sometimes when they're
Um,
building?
no, because you have a no, they wind up in very serious, non-funny places. There
Oh,
you have a builder wand, and so what the building wand does is it allows you to preview the so
oh,
there's
like a blueprint of it.
yeah, the whole thing also there is that there's 5 tiers of each building, and the tiers designate how many crafting recipes the craftsman can learn or how big their inventory is, all this sort of stuff. And each tier also upgrades the like elaborateness of the building itself, how beautiful it is. And there's a bunch of different themes that come with Mine Colonies.
The
And
clown theme?
it's like I'm playing as the Caledonian theme, which is like mostly reliant on like getting birch and diorite and granite. And so that also kind of dictates like, oh, there's like a desert colony theme. So you're not going to want to do that one, well, visually, of course, in like the middle of a forest, but also like you want to do it in a desert because a lot of the recipes call for a bunch of sand and all that sort of
Right.
stuff.
So the colony will like kind of reflect the biome that you're in, or you.
Yeah.
That's the goal. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. So once you have like kind of a hub in the center,
Hmm.
do those buildings upgrade first, and then they spread out smaller buildings and stuff, or is it? I'm
It's
picturing like a
kind of
city, like a metropolis forming.
that is kind of how it goes, sort of naturally, but really it's like there's sort of a hierarchy of needs that you'll upgrade. So like no upgrade can happen higher than the builder hut level. So the builder's hut is always the first thing that I upgrade up to like I think it's like 3. Forget why. It's like at level 3. Oh, because there's a university where you can like with like a whole tech tree. And so you like upgrade like oh, that's how you unlock various buildings. And then you can give your villagers stat buffs, things like that. And then also there's a whole other system around guards. So you can employ guards because there'll occasionally be raids on your village.
By who? By goblins?
Barbarians.
Wait, are all these citizens the like the Squidward shaped ones?
No, they just look like normal people.
Okay, because that's all. When I go onto like Twitch or something, oh, what's Minecraft like these days? It's always just people interfacing with these like Squidward things.
Yeah, they're
I
always
never,
trapping them in like hell dimension.
I
Friggin'
never
are
thought about
those?
them as Squidwards, but thanks. Now I'll never
They
be able
just
to
look like
unsee that.
potato Squidwards.
yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
for
Big
real.
nose.
No,
So
but
do they get subterranean with their constructions? Like, can you
there
do
is
mines and
a
stuff?
underground craft. There is an underground like dwarven mine themed pack, but then you can also hire a mine like a miner, or like a mining man, not a child.
It
Kind of
would
be
be
cool
cool
to
if you
see
could
like.
violate
Hey,
labor laws in MineColonies, though.
I put a
oh,
child to work in a mine.
there's some children in Minecraft, are there?
Uh,
There are
there's baby zombies.
There's babies.
vi-
There's baby
villagers.
zombies.
When villagers reproduce, that's how you get
Oh
new
yeah,
villagers.
they also have babies, but
Okay, this is all news. Last time I played, it was just skeletons and like pigs and cows, and then
yeah,
the special ones that blew up, and that was it.
that must have been that was definitely like UAT like in the
A cool
what is it?
minute. It's been
That was
Yeah.
when Notch was still at the helm, I think, before
Oh
he
yeah,
sold. That's
minute.
the last time
Yeah.
I played. Was back
I
when he
remember
was still developing.
playing it in the browser in the
Yeah, it was in browser.
like
The commons.
the commons. Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. What's the square that we all hung out in?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go hang out in the square.
For
Yeah.
I
3
guess
years.
people do go to the square.
Quad.
Yeah. Will, I want to
Sounds
unpack.
cool.
Oh, go ahead, buddy.
I was just thinking it'd be fun if there was more autonomy than maybe there actually is in the mod. I don't know, but if you could just tell them like just make a house like to your own design and just see what the AI does, and just see it
Oh,
create these like
God.
weirdo things,
No.
or like digging mines that are kind of like nonsensical, like
Oh
Escher
yeah,
paintings and
yeah.
stuff. It's
I
like, oh,
don't
what
know
you
if
been doing down here? It's
that
like, oh,
sounds like
check out my mine I made.
a basis for like a really terrible like high school creepypasta.
Totally, yeah.
And then he made an evil face house.
He accidentally created a time warp portal that led to the evil clown dimension.
It all comes back to clowns.
I want like a creepypasta shaped Minecraft where the
There is
citizens just do as they please.
a creepypasta for Minecraft. You know about Herobrine?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that. Yeah. We were just talking
Yeah.
about that actually the other day. I told you. Yeah, I didn't know the name of it. We were talking about it the other day.
Brian.
Oh.
What?
It's like a deceased relative of Notch's ghost in the game.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's
In
just a
In the credits,
He just shows up.
we were talking about that.
No. It's a character that appears, and then if you try to like look at it or something, he runs off.
Oh, right.
I don't think it's in the game actually, but it's something that like maybe a multiplayer character dressed up, and then
There's
something
there's
like that
some
happened.
there's some screenshots and it's like it'll always be like really foggy and then it's
Yeah,
steamy
and then he
but
runs out
he
into the
doesn't have
mist.
any pupils.
Yep.
It's really creepy.
Steve Sans pupils. What's his name again?
Hero Brine.
Brian. Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds like a cleaning product, not a dead relative of Notch.
Hero Brian.
If
Yeah.
we
Anyway, yeah.
yeah.
I like the Ghost in the Shell style, like with these kind of open-ended games. Just like a weird thing at the fringes of the screen. Like, did I just see? Nah.
Yeah.
And I think, we were talking about this when we were talking about meta, like subversion in indie games.
Yeah.
You remember this? It was like one of the last weeks, and I think I brought it up then because like developers now are putting these things as kind of the focal point of their games is like a subversive narrative point. Like, you're playing a game you're supposed to be making. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a regular game, then it gets dark at the end or something, like a twist happens.
We'll have to do a top 10 Bigfoot moments in games to counteract the weight of the top 10 games to kill fascists in list.
Yeah, we need to
need to balance it out a little bit.
We need to balance it with a little more wholesome top 10 list. Our first top 10 list turned out to be salty.
Hey, it's a time for salt, dude.
This is a good time for salt. Will, I want to learn more about you saying that your least favorite thing to do in Minecraft is craft.
Is building.
Oh yeah, I guess we should hone in on that. Yeah,
I didn't miss
man.
that.
I just like exploring. I love exploring, and I love figuring out systems. And for some reason, like even though I could never program, my friend who's an engineer, I was showing him my server, and he was like, "Dude, you should just become an engineer because like it's like the logical systems of like tying together like all of the facets necessary for like setting up applied energistics too, which is one of the mods that's around digital storage for items and auto crafting. Was like took me like 4 hours to get it all together and stuff, and that was like a lot of fun. I don't really like putting down little bricks and then backing up and going and then having to jump on
Burgermeister should
back
never have to put his hand in the dirt.
No,
A burger meister should never have to meister a burger.
I vastly enjoy the act of seeing the city expand and like all the stuff around me, but it's more like I want to like I'll do this thing when I'm playing where if I tell like a colonist to upgrade a building, I'll tell them to do it and then I'll run away and I won't let myself see the in progress version of the upgrade until it's done, and it'll do like a little like explosion and it'll be like, you did it, and then I'll run back over and I'll be like, oh. Wow.
I love that little like in-world canon moment you have for yourself of like, no, progress is happening.
Yeah, I don't want to see the progress. I just want to see the end product. I don't know. There's probably some thing in there that you could analyze. But yeah, no, I just
you like to see the system just take care of itself, like kind of
exactly. Like I don't really I like to sort of set up the Rube Goldberg machine and then like watch it go or something. I don't know. Maybe not that is the right thing, but
no, it worked.
Yeah.
I guess going one level slightly deeper, if you don't code but you like to do systems design, I think that makes sense that you like to see these things come to fruition without actually laying the individual blocks down. You know,
it's I think it probably goes back to like I was a very early adopter of like do you know Substance Designer?
Yes.
Like, oh, okay. Substance Designer is basically like a node-based texture generation program where you basically turn math into art and textures. You've definitely it's a ubiquitous program throughout game development now.
Like noise maps for elevation, that kind of thing. Okay.
Kind of like in like in Unreal when you're working in like the shader builder, you'll occasionally see stuff like Perlin noise and things like that. You can take those and run them through these various systems of nodes to procedurally create textures. And then so what you can then do is like tweak something once you have like say you have like a cliff wall and you are happy with it, but you want the rocks to be like 10% softer looking, you can go back in the chain to the thing that like was what determined how pointy like the angles of the rocks are, and then blur that down a little bit, insert a node or something, and it's like You just see the whole system, and then you can run it through like different seeds, so you like have like infinite possibilities there.
Isn't that how Minecraft handles world generation?
Probably in some capacity, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought I watched a talk a while ago from one of the engineers who worked on Bedrock, talking about how they determined the likelihood that biomes would like show up next to one another. And when they were, it was when they were doing the caves and caverns update. I think that's what it was called. How they actually determined like spaghetti caves versus large openings underground versus there's going to be lava pools here, that kind of thing. Yeah, just super
Yeah.
fascinating how they made those considerations.
Yeah, I could see those definitely being cousins of each other. Like it's just algorithm. That's the company that owned Substance Designer. They were bought by Adobe, but they were called Algorithmic. And they made Substance Painter, Designer, Stager, I think. And yeah, now they're working on like a whole suite. And my favorite product, I don't like that sentence. My favorite thing that they're developing is Substance Modeler, which is a VR modeling program. And it's kind of
New to me.
yeah, I love VR modeling. It is so much fun. And up to this point, there haven't really been many good industry standard programs, but they're actually starting to form this thing into something very good. Anyway, sorry, that was a whole tangent. Anyways.
That's all right.
Wait.
That's cool.
I'm curious what you use for VR sculpting right now.
I use a Rift, no, Quest 3, whatever the newest Quest is.
Yeah, but like, what program do you use? Is it specific to the
It is
headset
just
or?
that 3D modeler. It's such a generic name, but it's Substance 3D modeler.
Oh, and so
Yeah.
yeah, that's what kind of what I was thinking. Like the last thing I saw was stuff like that or Painter or something on
Mhm.
the actual device, or that kind of came packed in from
Oh
the
no,
store.
I run it off of my computer, but then I just link my VR
Yeah,
headset
no,
to
I
the
know. I
computer.
mean
Oh,
packed
okay.
in like it's on the VR storefront and stuff. A lot of people I see people painting it and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
and all
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah.
Like actually like as a pipeline tool for game development and asset generation and stuff. Yeah, you don't see that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
No,
cool that they're
they're
working on something that
finally
makes sense.
honing in there. Yeah. And I've used
Nice.
it for the last update on Fortnite. I used it to create a few models. Because you can just it's completely different form of like modeling in general. It's
Mhm.
far closer to actually sculpting with clay than I would say even like something like ZBrush.
Hmm.
Um,
Totally.
where you are sculpting with volume additively, and you can subtract, but you're primarily working with forms rather than like starting with a giant form and then trying to like kind of press it in places that
Yeah,
so
and just using mouse and keyboard for 3D sculpting is counterintuitive anyway. So it
Mhm.
makes a lot of sense that we're seeing more of that like VR stuff. And it
Mhm.
also is nice to picture you with a VR headset in a room, just like standing up
I
and
literally
like tickling the air around you.
no, and I always, dude, I sit right in the middle of the pit at work, and so I always get
Oh,
kind of like in the back of my head a little self-conscious, like I'm like,
is it wireless at this point, or you have wires all
no, I
attached?
still have, yeah, I think run it wirelessly, but I wouldn't trust the battery life on it.
Oh, battery, yeah.
Hmm.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been seeing like a lot of pen like it's a pen that has an arm. It's kind of like this thing.
Hmm.
Probably didn't sound very good. But like with the movements that it makes to the arm, it kind of tracks in 3D space, and so you can do sculpting with this pen in 3D space, and it tracks the like
Yes.
where it is based off where the arm is. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
know what
now
you're
seeing
talking about.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just now seeing stuff like that, but I feel like that's the next natural progression is to actually be a 3D sculptor while you're 3D sculpting in a
Yeah.
virtual 3D space. It makes perfect sense to me.
And there's even I was
Exciting.
reading this thing about how they want to, I forget who, but there's um I believe a company that's trying to develop a technology that is like a patch you can put on your chest that will send an electronic impulse into your arm, so that while you're sculpting in VR, it will actually give you the physical impression of pressing into something that is not there.
Interesting. Yeah.
Cool.
So you get
So
feedback.
like contracting muscles. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds terrifying.
I know. I'm not doing that. I am not doing
It just
that.
requires a small incision just below the ear to attach to the brain.
Oh my
I-
gosh.
There's definitely going to be a point where it's alienating, like because
Mhm.
electrocuting yourself to get that
Yeah.
feedback. But it is cool. Like that is interesting. And
I mean, it's a
Yeah.
wildly creative way to try and fix that, because that is the final frontier, I think, for VR sculpting. Is like,
I also think at a certain point we're gonna get so close to real sculpting that we're gonna be looking back and being like, now at this point the best alternative is just to go back to sculpting clay.
you know, how many
we've come so
times I've
far.
actually thought about that, like at work, of just like, what if I just photo scanned? Like, what if I sculpted this in photo scan? It's like, no,
Yeah.
that's not gonna work. But it's always like in the back of my head.
What do you
like,
mean? People do it. They photo scan all kinds of stuff now. Get all
I
kinds
don't.
of stuff
I'm
up
not
there.
gonna do it. I don't like it. I don't
I
trust
just
it.
I just can't believe that loser Da Vinci never used a VR headset.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're surprised.
What a nerd.
I like how little you are in the cameras.
Yeah. Well, as I diminish from this conversation, I'm actually slowly fading into obscurity.
I'm sorry,
When-
Zach. I'm sorry.
No. This is great.
No,
I love hearing about
Will
this stuff.
said we're turning math into art, and you were down there in your little chair going.
You're getting even smaller. You're gonna turn into that
agreeing.
picture of Larry David. You know the one I'm talking about? Yeah.
No, but I know he exists.
Yeah.
I wanted
Just
to
imagine
actually
a
touch
funny
on.
picture of Larry David.
All right, I
I wanted
got
to
you.
touch back on that math to art thing that you
Sure.
said because this is just a cool idea, buddy thing that I want to
Mhm.
say. Imagine a mod for Minecraft where you have like a node-based map generator. So before you start the generation, you can put nodes together, and that like, oh, I want this to be this way, and then I want this to be the canyon should be really busy and noisy, and there's mines over here, and it's a node-based thing. And then you hit render, just like it renders materials in
Mhm.
3D. What is it called? Substance.
Designer. Yeah.
Yeah, designer. But then it creates a map instead of like a material. I don't know. I feel like
That-
there's definitely a one-to-one thing there that could happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Let's
would
see
be,
that.
would be really cool.
let's get
Yeah,
that
let's
out
get
there.
that let's get that cooking. Somebody.
I like armchair designing. That we could just add that to the armchair designs that we've come up on the pod,
Nice.
which are all great.
yeah.
All
And someone
good
should
design
definitely
ideas,
do that.
right?
Someone should.
Yeah. I want to put them out there because I won't do it. I don't play
Yeah.
Minecraft.
Huh. Well,
All
that's
I have
that's
the power to do.
my big hullabaloo about Minecraft. Thank you for
That's crazy that there's so much hullabaloo to be had in the year 2025 from my point of view, having played in 2013.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
going away.
Last.
Not going
it's
away
not- it's
anytime
never
soon.
going away, man.
Mm.
Because you know what? It's like 6-year-olds are gonna exist forever, probably, unless we get a Children of Men type situation happening.
Oh,
And-
well, that's weird. Yeah,
Well, that's weird and
6-year-olds
not
always love
un-
Minecraft.
Not that far off.
we could veer the conversation into getting rid of all the kids. If you wanted to.
No.
Oh, actually, well, there's a project I'm following on YouTube called what is it? Tail, something Tail. Have you heard of this?
Hytale?
It's a Minecraft Telltale. Is that it?
Hytale, I think?
Hytale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Have you been following that?
I
At all?
did. It's like been ages. That's been around
That's
as
right.
like a project for a while now. I don't know if it's made any
Yeah.
progress.
It just piqued my interest because, like, in a superficial way, I like the art direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
And
looks
but
great.
yeah, it got bought by Riot. I think the project is now published by Riot.
Whoa.
And they recoded the whole thing, and they started working on community tools that are going to be built right into the thing. And so it's
Whoa.
going to have, when it launches, these types of features to enable modding and like user generated content and store. Like I think it's going to try to be Roblox, but in a more of a
Yeah.
Minecraft setting. So yeah, you haven't been paying any close attention to it at all. I just thought it looked
No, but
pretty.
I'll check back in. I forgot that it was bought by Riot. I remember hearing that and being
It's
like,
almost-
well, that's a good thing, probably, I think.
Yeah, no, they recoded everything, and I don't know. I think it's gonna be a pretty strong contender when it comes out. But yeah, that's the thing is like
I'll definitely
it almost
check
would have been nicer of me to not mention it, and then have you been surprised when it comes out because now you're gonna be waiting. Yeah, it's in our minds now, and it's like
I'm
probably gonna
uninstalling
take another
Minecraft
5
right
years.
after this.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Hytale boy now.
I'm a Hytale man.
I like how
I'm
the
a
progenitor of
Hytale
that thought was that there was no more children, and you somehow got around the Hytale.
Well, like I think also no. Okay, I wanted to touch on something there that's really important though, is that they're building modding ability right in, and I think modding is like
Mhm.
I'm. Whoa, crazy hot take. Modding is cool, but it is cool to see a AAA developer like actually embrace it because I feel like that's where you see it the least, right? Is
Because they
like,
lose. Well, honestly, it's a long time coming. Because if you think, I mean, I think Bethesda had this thought. Like,
yeah,
modding is such a huge like powerhouse. We have no control over it, and also we don't make any money off of it. Like
yeah.
one-to-one money. Obviously, like it inspires purchases, but that's it.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I'm honestly surprised to see it took this long, considering the success of Roblox and like we've seen like little timid kind of projects. Like I think Little Big Planet was kind of the start of this, and then like
I
Dreams.
mean,
Those are my two
Fortnite
reference points.
creative.
Fortnite.
Not
I
chill
think
too
Halo
hard.
had what was Halo's
Forge.
thing?
Oh,
The Forge.
Yeah.
But yeah, building it right in. I think there's strengths and weaknesses there. Like obviously, you're kind of choking the community. Like they have to develop in this certain ecosystem for it to be,
Yeah.
I think, valid for all the consumers of the product. And then of course there's gonna be modders outside who do their own stuff, because
Mhm.
there's got to be adult mods and stuff for it that are gonna be off the books.
Yeah.
But I do think, yeah, I definitely think there's like it's a long time coming, and I'm curious to see if it like because it's got a lot to live up to. If it's going to be a thing for all the mods to live and to be created
Mhm.
in, it's got to have like music generation, animation tools, marketplaces, all kinds of stuff
I
like
feel
this.
like I remember actually seeing the animation tools in one of the showcases. Huh.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah,
gonna
they
have to
have all
check.
kinds of stuff going.
Ah.
Probably like all kinds of forward-thinking integrations and stuff. I'm not
I
interested
mean,
in that necessarily. I just like the way the
yeah.
game looks.
Yeah,
But
no,
I think
it's
it's worth
it's
keeping
got
an
the
eye on.
bevels. It's got the bevels.
It does have the bevels.
Just for
Yeah,
you.
that was that it for me, I wonder? Was that what keeps in my mind?
Is the key to
I think
curing
honestly,
male loneliness the bevels?
yeah, that's the what the wish fulfillment for men is.
Yeah.
Are my cubes beveled or dream
It's that
fulfillment,
meme
whatever that
where
is.
the woman's like laying down.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's thinking about. He's just looking at just a block with bevels on it.
No, I generally think the art direction for that game is adorable and creative. It's really cool
Hmm.
because it looks like a Minecraft sort of thing, but done in a way that just feels kind of cozy. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I haven't seen it. I just wanted to bring it up. I thought it's part of the same conversation. So
No, I appreciate it. Now I got
I
a homework
I just went on
assignment.
the website for this for the first time. It looks a lot like Minecraft.
for Hytale, well,
Yeah.
yeah. I think to the layman, it's gonna look just like Minecraft, but for me, it's got a lot
What
of
is this? Freaking
distinctions.
Minecraft again? I already
Yeah,
played this.
just copy of Minecraft.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
Gamers love to say this thing is like this thing. I think humans like doing that in general, right? Like we just like to
We
say
like,
this
yeah, we like
that thing.
I'm sorry for reducing your conversation
categorizing
point to a
things.
label, buddy. I apologize.
No, that's what it. No, it's fine. No, that's what we like. That's what humans like doing, labeling things.
I am
You're a
curious.
human being.
Cupid bead.
So are you googling stuff again, Zach?
No.
Are you going into timeout? Are you gonna have to get the squirt bottle out?
Yeah. Seriously.
Man, the last Minecraft thing I interfaced with was Terraria, and I don't hear a lot about Terraria anymore, which is kind of
It's still
surprising because
going.
that was
Still
like that
very
was like the
strong.
black horse. I thought that would be. It is, yeah. I thought people would be more on Terraria, but it doesn't seem to have as much legs as the
No, it-
multi-billion-dollar
it has-
I
franchise
think
it
it's
is.
got a quieter but very dedicated community.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Like
I
Stardew
liked it.
Valley-esque levels of community and
Yes,
developer update
totally.
relationship.
Is it
Where it's
not
like you
made by
can
the same
find a
creator?
YouTube corner of YouTube where it's like this guy just only makes Terraria videos and he gets like probably I don't know 50,000 views a video or something like that.
That like the Hytale. The reason why I even keep hearing about Hytale is because there's a YouTuber that just makes Hytale content, even though there is
Oh.
nothing. So like any little peep he hears or any little like thought he might have, a whole video, like a 10-minute long video, goes up.
And he's got
And
a
it's
thumbnail
like
of him
I
in the
know
corner and he's like
Hytale hot
Yeah,
news of the
yeah.
week. Check out
he's
this drop.
investing. He's investing in this
I
this
mean,
game
that's
for sure.
I think about that a lot actually, with people who tie their YouTube identity to one game. Like that's
Yeah.
gotta be so stressful, right? Like
Yeah,
you are,
like
yeah.
Cyberpunk. Like I'm the Cyberpunk channel. Whoops. Now what?
Well,
Gotta pivot real
but
quick.
then they get redeemed, you know. But then I don't know. Yeah,
It's
there's a guy.
Yeah.
I forget his name. But he is a YouTuber for Lego Fortnite, and I watch his stuff all the time, and he's a great YouTuber. But I just always get like really stressed out, like thinking about like I've got to make the game really good because if we don't make it good, then this guy doesn't.
his
he's gonna
future is
have to-
just gone.
He's gonna have to put out a YouTube video being like, "So guys, I'm gonna be switching over to, I'm now a crime scene cleanup simulator channel now."
Yeah.
But someone took crime
yeah, or I went-
scene simulator. So I can't do it. I don't know.
Lego Fortnite failed, so I had to get a job at the pet shop downtown.
I mean,
No!
or that would be even.
You just
more
ruined
bleak.
this YouTuber.
Oh no,
Has
no!
he
I've
commented on your stuff? Like specifically things that you've worked on, like little
actually,
assets here and
yeah,
there?
in the last update, they were doing like a group stream. There's like a kind of a community of like Lego Fortnite players, and there's an area that I worked on. Kind of, it's like one of the only areas that like I just did that. That was my spot, and it's like this little, it's like this sort of arena, but you're descending down these tiers of floating islands down.
Oh, I
into
think I
the
saw
arena.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
and
Yeah, that looked neat.
I posted it on Instagram. So,
Yeah,
but
that's
then
how I saw it.
yeah, and it's a kind of a scripted sort of like you only go through it sort of once per doing the run on trying to get I think like keys or something to fight the boss. But he was in there and he was all of his friends were talking, but he was just kind of like running around like looking at it and he was like, "Wow."
Cool.
And I was like, "Yeah, man." Yeah.
Yeah, man, I got you a little fist bump to nobody.
Exactly. I don't know.
I love
It's just
seeing
nice.
videos like that,
Yeah.
like people in a like a very competitive like esport thing, just kind of
Mhm.
stopping and smelling the flowers. Like
Yeah,
that's so cute
totally,
to me.
totally.
I
Mhm.
appreciate that so much because people forget, like they get blind. Like I think it's just a different part of gaming culture, the competitive stuff. I don't mess around.
Oh,
with
I
that
mean,
stuff.
I think
So
about it
when
with
people stop and look, it's like it's endearing for sure.
like with Fortnite specifically, I play with all graphic settings turned all the way up. But then
Mhm. Oh, that's
anytime I
another
see
big one.
yeah, anytime I see someone like playing Fortnite like on YouTube, it's like all absolutely cranked down to zero.
Potato mode.
Yeah, so that you can
I hate
see
that.
every little shadow in it.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I need my immersion.
That's tough.
Please.
That's too sweaty. When I used to play PUBG, like
Oh yeah.
I'd watch people playing on Twitch, and it's just like, what are you doing? Like, oh, we have to set the LOD level so that we can see through the bushes at this distance, and like,
Same
what
with
are you even
Rust.
here for?
Ugh.
Just go play paintball. Come on.
Exactly. Dude.
Just go
Like,
outside.
someone had to make all
Touch
this.
paint.
Like PUBG, I don't think is that pretty, but I mean, even still,
Yeah.
I don't know. And also, yeah, when I die in, and I'm just like, oh, that guy probably has his settings all low. He's one of them.
Yeah.
Man.
I've resigned myself to not being good at competitive games outside of fooling myself. That's one thing with Marvel Rivals. I was
Oh.
talking about like that game has fooled me into thinking that maybe I'm good at a competitive game somehow,
Mhm.
even though I know I'm not. But
Wait,
either of
can
you
you
guys
tell me
played it?
about this game? Because it's not the card game. Every
No,
time you
it's-
mention it, I'm just like,
it's
a card game?"
Overwatch, but with Marvel. It is the reductive way to put it.
Yeah, that's like
Oh,
kind
good
of
idea.
the you know the same way
that's
someone
a
would
good
have said
pitch.
like Overwatch is like Team Fortress 2 plus Pixar.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd invest in that for sure.
So it's a 6v6 shooter. Yeah. It's like 30 something heroes. But like the thing about it is that so many of the heroes are not necessarily one a shooter based hero or two an ability based hero. They are something in between
Mhm.
that works to make you feel like I am dog water at aiming in video games. I cannot put reticles on heads. But
Mhm.
my Captain America, you get I'll take you into a back alley. Bah, bah, I'm going Guantanamo Bay on you, dude.
Oh.
Freaking it's so like satisfying And like, yeah, it's like I don't really have to feel like I can aim. If I was good at aiming, I would definitely be better with that character, but you can still make some plays and stuff like that. And then I just
I
feel like,
definitely.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, like, I think a lot of competitive games or just multiplayer games in general, they have like a ease of entry sort of thing. Like, when you start, they want you to reward you to make you feel powerful.
Hmm.
I just saw in is it called Blade Point or something like that? It's like
Naraka
a
Blade
Naraka.
Point.
slicey
Yeah.
Naraka. It starts you off, and even though you don't know anything, they throw a bunch of little wimpy bots at you, and then
Mm.
you feel like empowered, and then you win. I won already. Let's keep playing. So
Yeah.
like little carrot on a string sort of thing. And I
Oh yeah.
remember what's the last like competitive game I played? Jeez, I probably For Honor. Oh no, I played
Oh, nice, dude.
Chivalry 2. I think that was
Oh
probably the last
yeah.
one I played. And I think it's either the Cosmic Beginner's Luck or there's actually some fluff in the beginning, but it definitely I felt rewarded as a new player
Yeah.
playing that. And I don't know, maybe there's something similar. I haven't played this Marvel one, but maybe there's something similar there. But I'm sure that goes into the game design. Like we want this to feel rewarding even if you suck or
Yeah.
whatever. Like we want
I
to
mean,
get you.
there's probably elo at the very least, you know, where it's like, oh, this guy has never played. We're gonna put him up against, you know, people with maybe some low elo or something. I don't know if it's that
Oh,
deep,
sure.
but it could even just be something for me where it was like, it was my first game or so, or like first few games that got me hooked
Mhm.
because I wasn't paying attention to kill count. I was just paying attention to like trying to learn the character and have fun with them.
Oh
And if I
yeah.
happen to kill someone along the way, then like,
Hmm.
maybe hey, good enough, you know?
I wonder. I
Yeah.
wonder though if they just have like a whole facility full of like teenagers that they're paying $6 an hour to just make people like you feel better about their first 10
You
matches.
know
Just
what's
fodder.
crazy actually is the bots, and I'm self-reporting so hard right now, but they have a bot practice mode, and it's got a hard mode, and my friends and I have lost to that bot team like several times. Like, and
Uh-huh.
it's the most humiliating thing. So we were literally joking that like, what if they do actually have like a warehouse full of like, you know, yeah,
Oh my
teenagers.
god. That are the bots?
Yeah, it was like
That's creepy. Yeah.
I know it's like the reverse of what you were just saying, where it's like
Like
or bots pretending to be players. It's players pretending to be bots.
like a porcelain shell breaks off their face and there's like a little
Yeah.
child underneath.
Oh
That's so
no.
creepy. What was that anime? I think it was Steam Boy, where there's like these knights, these steam knights that are walking around.
Oh,
Have you seen Steam Boy before? It's
I had
an
it on
anime movie.
PSP, dude.
Yeah.
So I have
There's
not watched
these
it since 2006
What
on
the
there's
a
like
heck?
these steampunk knights walking around to and protect the World's Fair or whatever. And they get into a little firefight with the police officers or something. I can't quite remember. And you think they're just autonomous, like soldiers, but they fall over and then blood starts leaking out of their armor. And it's just like, oh shit, there's guys in there.
Wow, interesting.
Sobering.
Yeah, did you ever think about if the robot had a guy inside of it?
Do you ever think about that?
It's just a Russian nesting doll of robots and boys all the way down.
Yeah.
You know, I could
Whoa, a
could have been
boy
taken any
inside of a
number of
robot
ways.
inside of a boy. Whoa. Okay.
A Russian
Anyways.
stacking doll of boys is what my takeaway from that.
And that's Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, exactly. No, I guess I don't know. I don't have too much to say on that. I guess it's a really polished, really fun game. And I think the other thing was I was gonna I had this whole thing I was thinking about talking about where it was like build diversity and like diversity of characters and play styles reduces toxicity, but actually in the last week of playing I want to take all of that back because I've hit some rancid lobbies. I don't know what it was, but my first week of playing, everyone was so nice. And I'm not even playing ranked. I've played a little bit,
Wait.
but I don't do that in general.
What made you think that build diversity would affect that? I'm
I
curious.
think it was mainly around Deadlock because I played a bunch of Deadlock when that came out, and
Yeah.
the build
Mhm.
diversity in there, it was almost like no one really had a meta. It's like when there's
Oh,
no
I see.
meta, there's no
You can't
way
poke
for
fun
people
at
to
it.
get
Yeah.
yeah, and people can't be like, oh, you're not playing like this, then like what are you doing? Because it's like
Mm,
nobody really knows what is the optimal path, and even within
yeah.
Marvel. there's a debate, like people don't really know if 2 tanks, 1 healer, 3 DPS, or what the right combination,
costs.
perfect stack is.
Mhm.
So
I
because it keeps going back and forth, yeah.
when I used to play Magic, because Magic you could argue there's build diversity there in Magic the Gathering
Mhm.
card game, right? Because you can make your deck out of whatever. So when I was like a little kid, I made my little deck that I thought was genius, right? And then I went to
Yeah.
a tournament in town. I thought I was this cool cat with like this very unique thing, you know, like my
Yeah.
own themed deck.
Yeah.
And then I showed this guy who is probably 20 years older than me my deck, and he's like, "Oh, you have a Weenie White deck." And I was like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?" Like I made this by hand. I didn't
You're
follow a
gonna
guide. I
weenie
didn't.
hut
There's
genius.
no. Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, no, it's a Weenie White deck." I was like, "Come on, dude."
What does that even
I'm
mean?
I'm just trying to enjoy myself here. You're calling me a weenie white guy.
Yeah, but there's like there's people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's big enough communities they'll find. But I think that's That's an interesting take. But then again, you're also like it's up against the like potty mouthed.
I mean, it's
Like they're gonna find a way to make fun of you. They're gonna find a way to hurt you.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
They're gonna marginalize because it's competitive game.
Yeah, I just found it fascinating that Deadlock was like the first hero shooter I'd played since, or like MOBA style team-based shooter that I had played since Overwatch, which I had stopped playing because I was so tired of like the toxicity. And then I played Deadlock for a couple of weeks and never got hit with any of that, even though I was trash at it. But I had a good time. But I never got any of that flaming or anything, and I was perplexed. I was like, "What is causing this?" And the best I could come up with was something to do with the fact that nobody really could wrap their head around like what the best way to play was.
Deadlock is new, or has that been out for a few years? I don't know.
it's
I just looked it up.
Valve's
Super new.
new thing.
Okay, so maybe people they haven't found the meta yet.
I mean, that could be it. I'm sure
everyone's new,
they're having
essentially.
a rough time competing with rivals right now. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is
took a peep
interesting.
at it.
Go ahead, buddy.
Go ahead, Zach.
No, it's all right.
You're too flimsy. Go. Go.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was a pretty early Overwatch player, and I ended up sweating pretty hard in that game. I was
Same.
a top 20 Zarya on PlayStation.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, baby. Or top
Whoa.
20%, not top 20 in the world.
Oh,
My bad.
okay. I was gonna say
The percent is an important qualifier. But even with that, like, I enjoyed winning, and I guess I kind of had this experience when I played League of Legends too. It's like I enjoyed winning until I hit my skill cap threshold, and then I got hard stuck. And then a lot of other people end up in that same position where they plateau. And when people plateau, but they're still trying to get better, but they just can't, then you end up in this cycle where you end up hating the experience, but you still want to play it because you think you'll get better. It's like not that different from
But even
gambling.
winning doesn't bring you any
Right,
joy.
Exactly, because your goal is just to be beyond the point that you're at right now. So if you're not there,
That makes total sense because I found that like I don't know when I started doing this, but I think when I started playing Fortnite again with my friends was every time I lose or I die, I just ask myself like, what did I do there? What could I have done differently? I don't think I used to do that as much, and I think that's made playing these games a little bit better because it's, not trying to like look at some other player on the team and be like, oh, you didn't heal me or whatever. I've never really had that inclination, but yeah.
But it's
That's
nice
a
where
special type of person who complains, who gets to that point where they start like calling you out for not doing stuff as part of the team or whatever.
It's
like,
an
I'm
innate
just a little
thing
guy
in-
over here trying to have fun.
it happens naturally in competitive games is the thing, right? So how do you almost like, I don't know, bifurcate an audience when you're making a competitive game between people who are trying to esportsify it versus those who just want to play a competitive game without actually sweating?
I might have an idea for this.
Ooh.
What is?
Because I had frustrations about this sort of thing in another card game, Gwent. Because there's a lot of people who get like, because Gwent is 1-on-1. You don't have the issue with the teams being mad at you, but you definitely get people kind of ostracizing types of players or just using meta decks to be better and blah, blah, blah. But when I play like more competitive games, like I played Let It Die for a while.
I forgot about that.
That game is so like nebulous
Yeah.
This is kind of the jumping off point for my idea. Because yeah, there's probably meta to Let It Die. There's probably meta to
Wait, was that
every
the
game that's out there
Suda
now.
51
Yeah,
multiplayer?
dude.
Dude, what
Yeah,
the
Dark
hell?
Souls
I
game.
thought only
Yeah.
like 300
Def-
people in the world played that.
I played
No,
it
I
for a
played it.
bit.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Didn't it
No,
shut?
it's
I
cool.
thought it shut. Sorry. Okay. I was
No,
like, I know,
still
I know
alive.
that thing.
Okay, so it doesn't exist in that game necessarily, but my jumping off point would be this might also just destroy a game. So this is just a little kernel of an idea. But making the game kind of bonkers, I think. Like something that people can't wrap their head around, something that's always shifting and changing.
Mm.
In a dynamic way, because obviously you can't make it always generating content. Like it's going to
Mhm.
be impossible to develop something like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
But if the characters
Fortnite
aren't so
exists, though.
consistent,
Like that's how these games operate. Not
do you
to
mean?
completely derail your line of thinking there, but like that's how you have to have a competitive game like this. Because the ones that are more obscure, there's
Yeah.
nothing for players to latch onto over time. Like it might be a cool
That's
thing
the
to check
thing.
out, but it's not. It doesn't have any staying
Yeah.
power because it might be
I
too
guess that's
abstract.
the weakness. Yeah, maybe because maybe it's not doable. But I was just thinking, like, what if the characters weren't so consistent, or like, what if your character stuff changed about the gear all the time, or there just wasn't this consistency to it? Because at that point, you can always Wikipedia a game. Like I'm talking about, like archiving everything, all the information up on a Wikipedia, condensing it in a spreadsheet, finding the best Pokemon, and doing all that stuff, regardless of all the options. Like I say, Pokemon because there's hundreds of Pokemon, but there's two ones that people play with, that are the best ones. But if you had a game that's a competitive shooter and stuff is dynamic and changing and not as consistent, then people can't really keep track, and they maybe go off feel more. Like more of the experience of a new player to a competitive game where they're not thinking about these types of things. You give that to every player all the time, so no one can be masters of the game. It's just, but then yeah, to your point, no one would want to play it because they wouldn't feel empowered.
I mean, doesn't it? Yeah,
It'd be
like
fun to play tricks on them. I'd love to play tricks on them with the code.
it would be fun. I don't know if competitive game design inherently even works like that though, right? Because there's always the rock paper
don't-
scissors, and if you're
That's the
eschewing
thing,
that,
though. Like, if you look at baseball or something competitive, basically you have stats and stuff, but the players are organic human beings. They're not going to perform the way it's written down on the back of the card. So if you have like your E character has like a leaning towards one way or the other, or something is just a little like inconsistent. I don't know. Maybe it's a non-point, but I'm
no,
just thinking
I like
there
the
should
idea.
be-
I like the idea a lot
Yeah.
of trying to like demedify
basically-
competitive games.
Yeah, demetifying. Yeah, like basically encrypting the meta somehow. Let's encrypt the meta, kind of, and that's why I brought up Let It Die, because that game is encrypted. I think like you can't really. I mean, obviously, there's Wikipedia, but for most players of the game, they're like, "What the fuck is happening in this game?" Like, I just got like a traffic cone, and it's giving me these boosts, and I'm just taking mushrooms now, and it's just like. It's obscure and weird, and you can get through half of the game just like I did without knowing anything about anything, and just trying to like figure out like what looks cool and what feels good and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Because
That
the game is
100%
obscure.
vibes.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I wish I could play
I
more
was
of that game,
thinking-
but I
Yeah.
plateaued because it's too hard.
Yeah. It had some weird pay to win mechanic stuff in
Oh,
there.
that was the stuff that was getting me too. But it was
Yeah.
cute though. A little elevator girl there could help you out.
Oh yeah. I love Suda 51. I think he's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say. Never mind.
He's
I was
punk
about to
rock.
throw some
I love
shade.
him.
Yeah, exactly. He's.
I want
he's
to.
pumped.
What was the sequel to Let It Die? What was that one called? They canceled it, but it's coming back at some point. I'll play that.
Oh.
That'll be my next competitive shooter.
I
They
don't
They made like an
Sequel to Let
arena
It Die?
style. It wasn't Let It Die 2. I can't quite remember what it was called. It's been shut down now, but they're rebuilding it.
Mm.
It's basically like Let It Die combat and stuff, but it's an arena battle thing.
Oh,
Is it
interesting.
from Grasshopper Manufacturer?
It just flopped. Yeah. Yep, I think so. Or
I was
Suda. Or is it
so
Grasshopper?
that talking about the something introducing more organic nature into something like a competitive shooter. I had an idea a while ago for a. Have you guys ever played auto battlers? Like
Mhm.
stuff like Super Auto Pets, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I played TFT for a while.
Yeah. What if there was a hero shooter where you actually did not control the character, but you had to coach them in between 5-minute sessions.
Ooh, okay.
Where
That's cool.
it's like, yeah, like you get to watch the whole match play out, but then like a bell rings in between rounds, they come back, sit down, you say, hey, I don't even know technologically, like maybe if there was an ethical way to do it with like generative AI or something like that, but like you would be like, hey, that Black Widow is really beating up the back line. You need to be paying more attention to her. Like, so it's like you are not the one who has to. This is like my ultimate like fantasy of try to abstract. It's like the man who doesn't like building in
The ultimate burger
Minecraft doesn't
and
want to shoot
fighting in
guns
hero
in a
shooters.
hero shooter. I don't know. So that was an
I
idea
love that
that I
idea.
had.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Coach, you're basically pep talking them or like giving them
Yeah.
strategies. Actually, remember Fight Night? Didn't you kind of do that in Fight Night? Like when the round was over, you'd go to the corner and I think you would like tune your like, or something would happen. You'd heal your guy and like the coach would say things and you'd give them certain pointers. There's something like that in that game, but I do like that idea a lot. That's cool because then you can kind of script it and then you can see how the play plays out. And they just kind of follow it like a football team. And then you're like, oh, okay, we got to work on that. Like something goes wrong. That's super cool. It's playmaking kind of.
Something like that. I don't know.
Oh, did I lag just then? Did I lag?
Yeah,
out?
you lagged out a little bit. What was the game that you were saying? I caught the last half.
Fight Night.
Fight Night, right?
Yeah.
Fight Night. Oh, okay.
I just remember there being something when you're in the corner and you had some effect on the way the next round would go, or like where you'd use your stamina. Maybe I was just thinking things up. I don't know.
That'd be cool though.
Yeah,
You
I like
could,
that idea.
You could even do that
I
without.
remember.
Oh, go ahead, Will.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I remember Butterbean.
Butterbean, yeah. Hell
Remember Butterbean?
That was
Could I forget?
your character in Fight Night.
Oh,
You
I thought you were talking about the
could
actual
play
boxer.
as Butter. Yeah, you could.
You
Play
know
as
who I
Butterbean.
remember? Yeah, because that's a real boxer.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that. I always thought that was like a guy you made up.
No.
I made it up.
Dude,
but
he
I
was in
didn't
the
know- I didn't
Jackass
know.
movie. He like
No,
punched
no,
Johnny Knoxville or something. That was a real.
We were
human
making
being.
characters, and I
Yeah.
invented Butterbean in complete
And he was just a
earnesty.
big plump. He looked like an actual Butterbean.
But Will, there's a real man who boxes named Butterbean.
What?
He's just this big bald
Wait,
guy. Yeah.
you came up with your own Butterbean in
He like
complete
he like
isolation?
1,000 monkeys typing typewriters Butterbean into existence.
That's incredible.
Totally.
Wow.
Yeah, that was before I knew Butterbean. Then I found out, oh, it's a real guy. Okay, cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Anyway,
and
sorry.
I remember your
I
character. What was your
completely
character name?
derailed. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even remember how we got there.
Oh
Will, do you remember your character?
no.
You made a character too. It had a cool name.
You don't remember your Fight Night Round 3 character from 15 years ago? Are you?
It was like the
kidding?
demo. We used to play the demo or something.
I think I probably tried to make Bronson or something like that because I
Ooh.
remember watching Bronson being like, "Wow, this is such a cool freaking movie."
Bronson was a cool movie though.
Tom Hardy will never be in a bad movie ever.
Uh-oh.
I don't think I've
I
watched.
watched
a Tom Hardy movie.
I watched Mad Max recently with my
Oh,
dad.
yeah?
Fury. Wait,
'Cause
Fury
he'd
Road
never seen it. Oh,
or the original?
Huh?
Which one?
Oh, sorry, Fury Road. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he always thought he had seen it. Like, yeah, I seen Mad Max. And I was like, but there's a new one. He's like, oh, there is. Okay, and so we watched
Oh.
it. Yeah, Tom Hardy. There's some funny moments in that kind of like feel weird, like not good acting. I don't want to say it, but like I'm not an actor. But there's a couple moments that stood out that I'm just like, he's silent in this, so I think it covers up a lot. Like there's not a lot of dialogue for him.
His
he's a good
line
action
delivery is
guy.
very interesting. The way he decides, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. In a way, I think
I
it's
think it
almost
works,
like
but-
intentional. Yeah, it's like he's like
Yeah.
a feral animal, you know, like.
Yeah. He's a
And also,
phantasm
apparently, the
in
shooting of
desert.
that movie was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh.
Him and Charlize
Yeah.
Theron like hated each other.
I think we.
Oh no.
Have you read or listened to Blood, Sweat, and Crumb? Will?
No.
There's a whole massive book about the making of that movie. I think you'd
Ooh.
find it very fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. Tom Hardy, you mentioned the feral animal thing. Like, he more or less did play into that pretty heavily.
Oh,
yeah, and I think it
nice.
comes out in the movie. I just watched the first hour of it again, like twice in the past 2 weeks. Just because,
Interesting.
dude,
I mean, he eats a lizard in the beginning, so and he's all hairy.
I like the way he stamps on it. He goes,
Crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
God.
coming.
I could talk about this movie for 3 hours. So
Oh, it's a great movie, and I just wanted to bring it up.
Did
'cause
your
I thought
dad
it was
like it?
funny? Like, I totally Oh, he loved it. Yeah,
hell yeah.
loved it. It's a great movie, and he's cool in it. And it's just there's just some moments I was like, that maybe a little a retake on that one would have been good, or like maybe cutting a little sooner would have been good. But other than that, like, it's still an awesome movie. I love it.
I'm really bad at recognizing bad acting, I've learned. I don't know why. But there
It's
have
okay.
been...
It's probably for the better anyway, because it just
Yeah.
things
Helps your
standing out
enjoyment.
kind of takes you out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Huh.
Or also, like, who's to say what's bad acting? You know?
Exactly. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, it's never really clicked, you know, unless it's something incredibly, like, Tommy Wiseau level or something where you're
Right.
like, okay.
You know what? What really gets me is like video game voice acting recently.
Mm.
Like, there's a lot of notes I have about it, like the trendy dialogue, kind of the trends in the way they deliver lines, and also like
yeah.
just the writing itself. That's something that stands out to me a lot. Like, did you play
Horizon,
any of the
man.
Resident Evil?
Mm.
Oh, Horizon, yeah.
Awful. Not awful, but like
it's
I've
safe.
tried playing that game so many times, and I'm almost 100% certain that the writing and dialogue is why I cannot.
Wait,
get
are
through
you
it.
talking about Zero Dawn or Forbidden
Yeah.
West?
Zero Dawn?
Oh, dude, Zero Dawn.
I think I know what you're talking about. I didn't play it, but I saw a video of
There's
her,
just a
like,
cadence to it. Also, that freaky
Yeah.
ass kid you gotta play as for the first like hour.
oh, I don't know.
To making children is
Dude,
very
look up a
difficult, as you
picture
guys
of
know.
a child Aloy.
What is
Dude.
it?
It's so-
Child.
Do it in an incognito window
Oh.
because you should probably contextualize that search a little bit.
It's like a little homunculus.
She is a little homunculus, for sure.
She like the way she like runs around and like I feel like her running animations.
That's totally
I'm pretty
it.
sure it's just a shrunken down adult rig.
Yeah,
Which is
totally.
why
It
it's
is.
Homunculus.
super weird. Because she's running
That's
like
cute. She looks.
she's strong
You know what
already.
she looked like?
You know?
Yeah.
That little kid from the Mad Max movie that does a backflip and chops that guy's head off with a boomerang. That fuzzy, the hairy
Oh,
kid.
the little
That's what she-
rat kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like any post-apocalyptic '80s child, or like the kid from Aliens that's hiding in under the chair or whatever. Just like a shaggy little goblin child that they had in those '80s movies. That's what it reminds me of. Homunculus is perfect. That face.
I've been throwing that word around too much, man. I love homunculi.
Yeah.
What's your example though? Sorry, that you were thinking of with that in terms of like dialogue or like writing style.
Oh, I was gonna ask if you'd played any of the new Resident Evil remake, like 2 or 4. Like, those are the ones
No,
I've played.
I've wanted to. I've heard they're good.
And also something else that just popped in my head. I just looked it up. I don't remember why. Oh, because I was looking at Enslaved. I was considering picking that
Oh
up on
God, I
PC.
forgot about that game.
But I was like, oh, I remember liking Devil May Cry or whatever. And so I went back and watched some of it, and I couldn't get that game again. I don't think I could play.
Oh,
that game again.
DMC Devil May Cry.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's pretty and stuff, but the dialogue delivery, it's of that time, and it's very
Oh,
like
yeah.
kind of wiener. It's like weak, kind of.
Mhm.
But there's like when the writers choose what to say for the scene, it's usually out of context when they're writing it. Like, they have a script that they write, but out of context of the visuals they usually have. So they have these actors saying these things. And the actors, especially like in the Resident Evil games, like I've watched Let's Plays of the newer Resident Evil games that are done with the new RE engine and everything. Like, I think, what was it? Is it like 6 and 7? Are those the newer? No, 7 and 8 are the new ones.
Oh,
dialogue is
yeah, after
just-
6. Yeah.
The dialogue is just written in a way it's trying to be naturalistic, I think. But I'm just like, I can't pinpoint any specific moments, but there's just things that are there in the delivery. Like, why didn't you say it just a little bit of a different cadence? Or why did you choose those words to say it that way?
Yeah.
Or why aren't you commenting on this? Like,
mean,
the one thing that stands out to me is in Resident Evil 2, you finally meet up with Claire, and she's on the other side of a chain fence or whatever. And Leon just goes like, they have a weird, it's like raining, there's zombies literally behind each of them. There's a fiery helicopter behind Claire. And they meet each other at the fence, and they're like, oh. And Leon's like, how you holding up? She's like, So Claire goes like, surviving. And it's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be a joke, like, I'm surviving. Cause that's what we said
Yeah. But the
when we were getting
delivery
through
is
the day.
not getting that across.
But they're doing it like they're flirting a little too, and it's just like
Mm.
doesn't play right. And it's just like it's that like non-union kind of like they're cutting
We have
corners. They're in
Resident Evil at
separate.
home
They're in
kinda
they're in
thing.
separate countries recording dialogue together, and it's just
Mm.
there's just so much weird like disconnect
It's
to where
interesting
like it
because
becomes uncanny.
like the first, like I mean, the original Resident Evils were known for having some
Oh.
awful dialogue, right? It was like
That's why I let it fly.
Jill
with these games.
sandwich,
I still
you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Or the
Yeah.
oh, dude, my favorite. Actually, I unironically think Resident Evil 4 has some of the funniest moments in video games, where he's like, "I've
like
sent
a
my
child.
right hand for you to go for you." Oh, your right hand comes off.
I
Yeah,
love those things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely something that happens with non-American studios writing games in English and contextualizing
Yeah,
that
maybe,
for an English
yeah.
audience. But it's interesting to think of something like Elden Ring in the context of that, because they brought on George R. R. Martin, like a native
Mm.
English speaker and someone who like grew up with that culture, and sort of blending those things together. Like, yeah, all the line readings in Elden Ring are completely nonsensical, but they also kind of work for that world, you know?
Oh, I mean,
Oh.
yeah.
It must come down to localization because those localizers for the Souls games are amazing. And then
Is
I
it-
save
oh
I
yeah, in
saved
Persona. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
because 2 I can't speak for that game, but I'm just talking
Oh,
about like
yeah.
the Souls games.
That's like the Black
Specifically
Sheep,
Bloodborne has just incredible written dialogue and spoken dialogue. And then where it stood out for me the worst was 2 has the least interesting like written dialogue for like item descriptions and spoken word. It just sounds so out of character. But in that way, I think that maybe it's just the localizing team for the Resident Evil games. Just like they're not
Maybe.
paying quite as much attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like in 4 he goes like, you know, the teaser thing. He's like, we found baby eagle, or whatever, right? And then in the
Yeah.
game, he goes like, what is it called? I can't remember what he calls the headquarters, but he's like, we found baby eagle, you know, president's daughter, over like the radio. And they're just like, someone wasn't paying attention, right? Like, he shouldn't have added that if we're talking
No,
about like real life.
Dude, I
demons.
want to go back for a second because what is it about Dark Souls dialogue, those characters? Why does everyone talk like that? Why does everyone, you know, like here's I have a guy that I made up a guy who he's a Dark Souls character who's telling you about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's hear it.
the Eagles or the Chiefs? I don't know. It's all for not now. And then that's all he says. And then you can kill him and loot like a stupid, useless ring off of his body.
That's amazing.
Then henceforth proceeded the age of ash, and all
Yeah.
darkness leapt from the land as the pygmy scouts came.
Yeah.
Took over the tormented soul.
Well,
I love that
Patrick
character.
Mahomes
It's great,
threw
it's
3
great.
touchdowns.
I don't know. He's like a little goblin guy.
Yeah. Or like
And he
patches.
definitely has no lips. He's just a skeleton face. No lips.
It works.
And he doesn't even move his mouth when he talks.
Yeah. Barely even nods his head, just staring at you.
I mean, I've been playing Souls games. I played Demon Souls, and like
Oh,
it just
yeah,
kind of
baby.
taken as a given, right? Since then, because that's the way they talk. They're all like depressed poets in like in community college, just sitting out having a smoke, and they're just like reading their poetry.
But that's why it works, because they're reflections of their world. Like, it's so so absurd and dystopian that they would even exist in this place.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it just broke all of them, so they just talk about the Eagles Chiefs game in some
They're all very introspective,
some
or
despondent
just like,
tone.
completely.
Yeah.
Just doesn't even care who wins.
Don't know. Does that make me think? Oh, that makes me think of Magra. Remember Magra from Dark Crystal?
Oh, Agra. Yes, of course.
Agra.
My queen.
Conjunction of the sphere. What'll happen? Don't know.
No, Elfing. Oh my god, I love that movie so
Maybe that's
much.
where the inspiration was for the Souls games. Was just
I
like, the
could
Dark
see
Crystal.
some definite tonal like inspiration for sure, because that movie is very somber in places.
80s fantasy definitely fits like the Souls stuff.
That's why
As
it was
for
like
where
one of
that
the
stuff
first
comes
like
from.
annoying ass AI things that I would
Oh, what
see
was
on
it?
YouTube. Was
Oh,
like,
AI image generation.
yeah, where they'd
Oh,
just be like, this thing, but in the 80s. Like,
yeah.
oh wow, cool. I love this.
You know what I thought? Okay, so yeah, this is like AI stuff is fulfilling that dream of like we were just talking about that, like this game plus this game. Imagine,
Yeah.
okay, imagine like we talk about this all the time. That's what AI is
Imagine
great
a
at right now.
hot dog and a hamburger AI.
Yeah. But I saw this awesome thing. I might just post it in our little chat here.
Sure.
If I can dig it up again. But it was like one of the earlier AI generated things. Uh, it was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but if it was like a Guillermo del Toro horror movie with Jim Henson mixed in or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's basically body horror, but with candy. And so people are transformed. Like in Billy and Mandy, there's the chocolate sailors that are just turning
Oh
into
yeah,
chocolate.
yeah.
Which
So,
is
or
like a
like
creepy idea in a cartoon, but to actually
what is it?
see like these people transforming into these like sweets and stuff and chocolate like running out of their mouth and like they're being it's like body horror but candy and
I will
I don't know,
say
it's
AI
gore.
is
Like
really
candy
good
gore.
at making some fucked up,
Yeah.
disturbing things way more than it is at
But
making things that make me feel good
I
to look at.
genuinely thought it was a cool like genre
I mean,
bend.
yeah, if you use that level of creativity, I suppose. But like,
Yeah.
I think the thing that I was getting, well, am tired of was just like what if their Marvel movies were Wes Anderson movies? Like, what if,
No, that's cheap. Yeah,
yeah.
that's cheap
But
stuff. But
I
people
think,
love
yeah,
that.
like I had mentioned earlier,
Simple.
I threw out a little Easter egg that I don't hate all AI. Like ethical AI, I think is possible. You can train it on certain, you know, data models that have, or like data sets that are, you are given permission to use. I will say also though, the caveat that until we figure out how to do it without like burning like 15,000 trees,
Yeah, before
to,
three
like,
turtles
make
die
it
every
work.
time
Another
you
element to it.
every
Yeah,
time you're
it's
like,
just there's so much to it that I just it's
yeah.
exhausting.
I'm kind of with you, Will. I'm coming around to certain applications of generative AI. Generally not around anything that is artistically minded though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because it's like, why am I doing this? I'm just like, I'm not challenging myself to even try to conceive of this either by myself or with another person. So I'm just gonna let, you know,
It's like
ChatGPT generate my
to me, I
lyrical
always think of
fantasy.
it like saying like I don't know, like going, like it's the same satisfaction that you get from like gambling almost. Because you don't know what you're gonna get on the other side of the image generator,
Mm.
right? Like you're sort of like rolling the dice based on some amount of inputs. And I know people are like, "Oh, but I'm like a prompt artist."
That's Did you see that picture someone made of like a guy with a journal like in the park? He's like got a little he's like got a sketchbook and he's sketching this girl or whatever. The girl's like, "Oh, he must be sketching me." And then it flips over to what he sees and he's just writing like cute girl, red hair or whatever, like sitting on park bench.
Sitting in park, Pixar,
Yeah.
Golden Hour.
Yeah, huge boobs. Yeah.
Huge boobs,
Wow.
I think
nice
that's
lighting.
it's yeah, great lighting, cinematic or whatever. Wes Anderson.
There you go. Yeah.
I've messed around with Stable Diffusion. It's ironic that there's actually like a button that is a dice, like a roll of the dice
Oh,
thing.
yeah, there you go.
But there's so much like other capabilities built into it. At least this one thing, where you can orchestrate, like you can actually kind of dictate like what's in the scene. You know, like that
Sure.
NVIDIA thing where you can sketch something
Yeah,
simple
like
and have it.
make a rough like outline of a tree in a spot,
Yeah.
and it'll fill that in with a better looking, tree or something.
Yeah.
God,
But and there's it gets even further than that, and there's artists that they use it now where it's just like I'm just filling in some blanks or like I'm
Sure.
taking care of stuff that usually takes forever just with
Yeah.
a button press or whatever, which is
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
We're gonna
just
be
like
doing that sort of thing anyway.
the pictures
other
of like
applications.
the 5,000 billionth picture of Supergirl like flying up at the camera, like with the fucking outline, and her hands are doing some weird. I can't with that. I can't.
yeah, I just
Yeah,
went
no,
through,
there's a nice way to do it. That's so when I saw the last time I had like this like strike of fear looking at AI because like it threatens jobs obviously.
Yeah.
Was I
We're
saw like
well
someone
beyond that
produced a
point.
video. Yeah, it's threatening jobs.
It
Yeah, I saw a
Sure.
video of like a walk through a market square, and it was so stable and consistent, and it just looked,
Mhm.
and it was a fantasy thing, and it was just like, wow, okay, so this is like obviously nothing new there, like a body cam walking through town, but still,
I
like
think that, but
it's
there's
rendering things so well now that it like made me feel afraid. But then I was like recently just like the big defining factor between an artist and someone who's going to generate crap for you is that like artists are cool people who you can interact with, and the weirdo guy who wants like a shortcut to quick cash is going to be a pain in the ass to work with, and
yeah,
he's going to give you shitty stuff. So
and
like
also
at the end of the whole road, it's like you're dealing with two types of people. One of them you don't want to deal with, the other one you want to deal with.
and also like generative AI will never create something. It will never create a new idea
Right. Yeah.
unless there is some new input put into it. Because apparently, like, what is it? Chat GPT or OpenAI, they've already scoured like literally everything on the internet. So it's like,
Mm.
yeah,
It
that's a
has
lot
no
of
new
data,
ideas.
but then that is all the ideas, that's all the ideas. And then eventually we just become gray goo where it's like things feeding in, like AI
Yeah.
is has already probably started training on itself, which is
Yeah.
fucked up to think about.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't use Google.com anytime soon if you
yo,
want to see that
Jesus
in action.
Christ, man. I gotta eat at least one. I gotta go get my one tiny rock in for the day. Go eat that.
I love the
Uh,
human centipede that is AI. Like it's like
yeah.
an Ouroboros human centipede at this point, and it's just kind of like over in its own little corner, just recycling itself
Yeah, the
Yeah.
I like that
coolest part
idea.
is that
and
proposed
getting
US
thicker and grayer.
Dude, US copyright law might actually accommodate for prompt engineering as creation, which is totally sick.
Sure, yeah.
Also, if you want to go through a really dystopian exercise, I went on LinkedIn and I searched prompt engineer and I got 20,000 results for people.
No,
No.
man,
Yeah.
no.
My favorite one is TEDx speaker, AI prompt engineer, copywriter. That's cool. That's really cool.
TEDx.
Here's this
TEDx
person that's a
speaker.
copywriter and TEDx speaker, and they're like, oh yeah, and I'm gonna also make sure I never can employ myself. in
Sorry,
different idea.
I got us on this dour topic. Oh,
Oh, we
someone,
get there
we would've gotten
ourselves.
here eventually.
Yeah, once a week.
It always
tune into
ends
story
up being
players.
this way.
Yeah.
No, I think it's fine. I think it's all fine for now, and good. And
I
it's
think
also,
I think the human will it'll overcome anything like,
yeah, that's the kind of epiphany I
there's
had. It's
always
just
going to
like,
be some David
comes
Lynch
down to people.
freako out there, and he's always going to be going, I made some cookies. I drank 2 Cokes and a cookie, or whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm
missed
saying?
out
There's
on-
always going to be
I
visionaries.
miss. Yeah. I miss David Lynch. I missed
Yeah,
out
man.
on David Lynch.
My only
unfortunately. I gotta go
exposure
back and check out his works now.
my only exposure to David Lynch is by Deadly Premonition as a proxy, which I know
Oh,
is
as like
not.
a reference to it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the game,
Dude, yeah.
which was
FK,
Twin
in the coffee.
not Twin Lakes. That's a place out here.
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks. Thank you.
Yeah. No, same. I've watched Twin Peaks, and I've watched multiple playthroughs of Deadly Premonition, and that's about it. I've never seen Mulholland Drive or any of those. One of my friends is he's like a big Lynch head.
That's what
He's a
we
Lynch
call
pin. That's what
ourselves.
they call them. No, Lynch pins. That's what they. Uh, but he's always like, you gotta watch. I think it's like Blue Velvet or Mulholland Drive. I always get mixed up which one says is the best to start with. But anyways,
Oh, cool. How are
cool.
we for time, Zach? Is that a? Did you go on to keep going, or
It's up to you guys. This is fun. I'm
just
good
because
for
I
another-
have dependencies? But I could just dip out and you guys can continue chatting.
No. We can.
oh,
been a
I'm
relax-
also, yeah. I guess I didn't even realize how later. I've gotta make some calls. I gotta return some videotapes.
What?
Let's save some for the sequel.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You can return those videotapes. Right?
No one
Oh,
said that
cool.
sentence in like 20 years.
It's from American Psycho.
Oh, got it.
That's right. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, he's
Ah.
always like, I gotta return some videotapes.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, yeah,
That's
no,
right, I
we
just
can
watched that,
we
actually.
can return our videotapes and,
Yeah, let's
and call
wrap
it here.
Right on.
Buddy,
Cool.
just
Thanks,
insert in
guys.
We didn't
intro, outro.
Yeah,
at
we
some
didn't
point.
intro anything,
That's
but
fine. This is
we
great.
just Will Tate, our good friend, who's at Epic right now, working on all kinds of cool stuff. I have been Acorn Bringer, otherwise known as Winston Powell. You can find me at Acorn Bringer online. And Zach.
Don't find me
Oh,
online
sorry,
anymore.
Will. Where can people find? I should let you
No,
do
they
that.
can't.
Will,
They can't find me. Actually, I don't want them to.
Okay. Yeah, you're just our mutual friend.
I'm just a freak
Anonymous
who
online.
shows up.
Yeah. And yeah, Zach, who are you and where can people find you?
I don't want people to find me anymore, buddy.
Okay.
I want to be,
Well,
dude. Another time I'll tell you guys about an experience I had the other night in my neighborhood that makes me not want people to find me.
Oh.
It's getting weird. Things are getting weird.
Getting weird.
I'm trying to
Sounds like bad news.
trying to separate from the weirdness. But my name's Zach. That's all I'll give you, fine folks. You can get my contact info from the previous 27 episodes.
Right. Okay. So we've sort of been the story players +1, and we thank
Yay.
you for listening.
Yes.
Right on.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
Later.
That was great.
it was great having you, man. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming on.
Was I the first guest? Have you guys had other people? Whoa, shit. You didn't even tell me that. It's good you didn't tell me that. I would have been way more nervous.
We've
That's
been
awesome.
we've been doing this for a year now, a
Almost a
calendar
year.
year. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's been fun though. Just shooting the shit, being able to
Oh,
talk
man.
video games at depth once a week. is really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I definitely
Therapy.
would be happy to come back at some point.
Yeah. If we
and just-
get you back, we could do like a more structured, conventional one.
yeah, that was. I kind of felt like I was just rambling for half of that. Just
No, it's
going
good.
off. Yeah.
It is
That was
fun
just getting
though.
back in touch after 10 years. So
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's
Yeah.
also really fun to go
do that every
from
once in a while.
modern Minecraft to somehow connect to David Lynch and Resident Evil 4 dialogue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the show notes are going to be nice to go. The timestamps are going to be fun to write for
Yeah.
this one.
On YouTube,
right
there's going to be
on.
48 chapters. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Oh man, how much editing do you do on these?
Buddy.
I do less and less because we're getting better and better. But I do
Oh,
put an
okay.
intro, outro. I do cut things out. Sometimes Zach says problematic things. And I have to cut that out. No, I listen all the way through it on 2x speed. I do the whole thing. I do my diligence and just
Right
clean
on.
it up and make sure the levels are okay and everything.
Yeah, I was very like trying to mind my I was
Employment.
not. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I get you. I haven't been, and that's problematic sometimes for Buddy, I think. But
Not too bad.
It's fun. It's fun.
yeah,
Gotta
I'm
roll
also
the dice.
I'm unafraid of putting myself in compromising positions. So
Cool.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll try not to put you
But-
in any of those. Will, don't worry.
No, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure like I don't think like unless I'm like giving out any sort of whatever
Trade secrets.
Yeah.
trade secrets. I don't think it's a big deal for me to talk about like previous stuff I've done or anything like that. But yeah, and then I don't think they really care. And like obviously, I'm not going to be coming on here saying any like racist shit or anything
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, we
When I
haven't
get-
hit the big time yet, so it's not going to get heard until a couple years down.
Yeah.
down the road.
And then we'll get
Yeah.
if it gets
man.
if it hits the zeitgeist.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Who knows though? All right, I really got to go. But
Yeah,
it's
all
been
right.
nice to
That's
see you.
cool.
Will.
Yeah. Later, y'all.
Keep
Have
it
a
up.
good one.
We could do this
See
again
ya.
sometime.
Yes.
For sure.
Adios,
Bye.
guys.
See you, Zach. Bye.
Bye.